So today, we're talking about mimosas.
Well,
not the kind that you...
Not the drink.
Not the kind that you drink that we're having here today, which is delicious, by the way.
Yes, you're an excellent ingredient selector.
Okay. But today we're talking about mimosa the flower and 8 mimosa fragrances. A lot of you have been asking me about mimosa, and I also discovered that last year in 2019 we spoke about...
It's kind of trending.
Mimosa, so...
Sort of discovered. Like a late decade discovery by the perfume industry.
Okay. It's a comeback. I think it was discovered once before, well, many times before.
Yeah.
Not once before, but multiple times. But today, we're going to talk about 8 of our favorite.
8 delightful mimosa fragrances.
So if you want to find out about mimosa and the fragrances that feature this note, then please stay tuned.
Ching ching.
Cheers. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time tuning into the channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, and of course participating in giveaways and still haven't subscribed, please click that subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So are you familiar with mimosa?
It kind of crept up out of nowhere. I wasn't.
Do you know what it looks like?
It's yellow.
It's kind of like warm and soft and fuzzy like cotton. Very soft. Flower.
I have not had physical contact with an actual mimosa.
Well, in France, I think in the springtime they have a mimosa festival in the south of France.
Oh,
and
very romantic. The flowers in your hair dancing around. Just
I don't know if that's what they do. They just celebrate this note. For me, I always hated the smell of mimosa. I always felt like it was very feminine to me. It does remind me a little bit of like very gentle, childlike smells, like a clean babies that have just been bathed and stuff, like maybe baby powder, and mixed in with like little scents of like aromatics and additional green smells combined together, and that smell is what I always associated with mimosa, and I kind of didn't like it, and I smelled it in perfumes a lot. At one point, I didn't know what mimosa smelled like.
Yeah.
With a little research. Now I'm seeing mimosa pop up everywhere.
For a long time, I confused it with osmanthus. I didn't know what it was, but a specific sort of waxy yellow kind of a floral. But I didn't have any sense of it. It never called out to me. But it's like kind of like being in on a secret. Once you know it, it's like, oh,
that's it.
Hello, friend.
And then the other thing about the mimosa flower is it grows on a tree. It's not like a bush or anything. It's not like a plant. It's a tree. And you'll see it. When you see it, it's all yellow. You'll know it's a mimosa. And it's different. It's not. It doesn't smell like white flowers like tuberose, gardenia, jasmine. It has... What do you think the differences would be to you comparing mimosa to, let's say, for example, tuberose, which is very popular?
Tuberose, gardenia, lily of the valley... not so much lily of the valley, actually, but definitely gardenia and tuberose and plumeria, maybe, or the frangipani or whatever. The heavy, dense, almost, to me, there's something purpley about them, even though they're white flowers. There's a purple association with those florals.
Interesting.
They can be worn for day, like there's, like the Ramon Montegal Kiss My Name is like a very green tuberose, but more often than that, they tend to be sort of heavy, dense. Like people have associations, I think, with like the older relative with a retro kind of a heavy floral. It's generally one of the white florals, but the yellow ones, like mimosa, tend to be kind of a lighter floral. And it's harder to, it's like, I don't know if I would necessarily be like, for sure 100% gardenia tuberose like every single time, especially because they're so often blended. And I have a similar thing with the yellow florals where it's kind of like, I know it's not a white floral, but I don't always immediately know which yellow floral it is.
Yeah. But always with mimosa, I just associate it with like child. Like it's very, very soft and gentle. I don't know, for some reason, maybe it's a subconscious thing with the flowers being so soft and gentle. I feel like the fragrances that they create with it are as well.
I think it's in the way that I think a lot of like hand soaps are gardenia and tuberose, so there's a soapy association that a lot of people have. But I agree that mimosa and the yellow flowers are actually kind of more of a cleaner smell most of the time.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's do this.
Okay, so the first one we're going to speak about today is Amouage's new Love Mimosa. So with this one, there's notes of mimosa, Cascalone, pear, violet, leaves, heliotrope, Ylang-Ylang, and more.
What is Cascalone?
Cascalone is a synthetic molecule or synthetic recreation of marine smells or aquatic smells. So they've combined mimosa with aquatic notes.
Indeed, they have.
They have?
They definitely have.
But you do pick up the mimosa in there. It's right at the top. It's like right there. It just punches you with it. Then it goes to that Cascalone.
I think they're fighting a bit in the opening, and it kind of settles really, really nicely.
Would you wear something like this? Do you find it... well, first of all, do you think mimosa as a note is feminine or masculine?
I think it's feminine.
It's feminine?
But as we've discussed and as has been proven time and again, it's what you mix it with. This is a feminine mimosa.
This is?
I do see what you mean about the baby soft kind of feel to it, but the marine note is very present. It's very...
I think the marine note gives it more of a masculine butchness about it.
It does.
Do you think?
It does butch it up.
Yeah?
It does butch it up, but I would say this is it's the softness. It's
What about the pear? Do you get the pear? It's very peary. Peary? Is that how you say it? Peary.
It's pear-shaped.
Yeah?
Yes. This is one of those fragrances where you say a note and you smell it. So you say, do you smell the pear? And it's like, oh, yes, I do. Do you smell the Cascalone? Oh, yes, I do. Do I smell the heliotrope? Oh, there it is.
There's a lot of heliotrope.
But it's what you focus on. It kind of comes to the forefront, which I think is actually mark of a good blend in a way.
You think?
Because you don't notice one over the other until you think about it.
So you like it when the notes pop out and you can distinguish them from the other notes?
The only one that I can think of right now where that happened more recently was House of Matriarch, where it's a blend and you're not noticing, but then when you look at the list of what's included and you think about it, they kind of, it's like they come forward and take a bow or something at the as part of the performance. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay.
How does it wear?
Well, the marine notes do pop. It settles down to a nice, pleasant, powdery mimosa fragrance. I think the violet leaves pop through as well, and I think the violet leaves tend to go masculine versus a feminine, characteristic. So, but still, I think mimosa, as in general, is more on the feminine side.
But this is it ends up being unisex because of what they've paired it with.
Anyway, that's Love Mimosa from the house of Amouage. It's a very new one. Check it out. If you love mimosa, you might like it. I mean, especially if you like the idea of aquatic with mimosa. Next, we go into the house of Goldfield and Banks, and today we're talking about Velvet Splendour. So Velvet Splendour, for me, is a very chypre-like concoction. Let me see what you're going to think about this one.
Goldfield and Banks are a brand that are they're very focused on ingredients that are locally sourced in Australia.
Australia,
is that right?
yeah.
So does mimosa grow elsewhere, or
According to Dimitri, mimosa is native to Australia. It was brought over to Europe.
well, but I mean maybe it's native to other places too. But I really like that one.
You do? I knew you would like it because it's very chypre-like, and I know you like chypres.
I love chypre, but it's also it's got a little more oomph to it. Whereas the Love Mimosa is very soft and kind of powdery, which I don't usually.
You don't usually go for things like that.
I don't usually go for that. I've gifted you other sort of muskier fragrances that are kind of in that softer. It's not what I tend to wear. This is more kind of bang
It has
for
some
your buck.
oomph to it.
It does.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of that. What are the ingredients?
So this one has mimosa. You can totally pick it up.
You can.
But it's very butched up. It's got lots of tonka beans, jasmine, orange blossom, and then there's a big sandalwood note in here. Now, I don't know where oak moss is. Typically, oak moss is in chypre fragrances, but it does have a very chypre-like quality to it.
I think I'm trying to place what it is, but it's that orange blossom is almost syrupy, and it gives it a real kind of like barbershop quality, which is wild because orange blossom isn't usually. I think it's the orange blossom, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is that's hitting that kind of feel.
Interesting, because tonka beans are typically found in fougères, barbershop fragrances, in the base notes. There's tonka beans here.
Maybe it is the vanilla-y kind of a base, but this is beautiful. This feels like something that was made 30, 40 years ago. And
Really?
don't you think so?
It does have very classic touches, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what this fragrance reminds me of? Le Labo has a fragrance called Ylang 49.
Oh, you like that one.
It reminds me of that. And that's classified as a sheep breath. This one is not necessarily, but it's really good.
I like that one.
Yeah.
And it's a good name.
Velvet Splendour. So next we're going to the house of Ideo Parfumeurs. This is Space Rhapsody, this one right here. So this one I've featured in a skin scent video recently. So it's a softer concoction, more like a skin scent, but it does have some...
Space Rhapsody is like Space Odyssey with Bohemian Rhapsody, like whooshed together.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
So for me, this one is very musky. It's very big on the musk. It's a cleaner musk, but it does tend to go a slight bit animalic because there is a civet note listed in here as well. But you have a big cedarwood note, and I get a very milky, like powdered milky quality here. I don't know if you've ever sampled powdered milk, but it comes off like powdered milk. The cedarwood in here, along with the sandalwood, probably gives it like a powdery, woody concoction as well.
You definitely get the cedar.
Do you get the sandalwood? Where am I getting the milk from? It does have a very milky consistency to me. But powdered milk...
But sandalwood can be milky.
Yeah, sandalwood definitely can be milky.
But you're right. It's the musk. It's almost that, not quite Johnson & Johnson, but that kind of baby soft, like...
It does have a baby powder quality to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, it's nice.
Do you get the mimosa? It's nicely blended. It doesn't stand out.
Yeah, and it's not like the first one, the Love Mimosa, where you think about it and it comes forward. This is very blended. The individual notes aren't. So yeah, I don't know which one is like the better. Maybe it's just a different approach to perfumery, but the blend, it's more homogeneous maybe.
Interesting. But this is a great house. And this is their latest offering. I did do a review of this one. Go check it out if you're curious to learn more about Space Rhapsody. It's a nice, pleasant, very, very cozy. The milky quality, even though it's powdered milky, I get. And I think it's just
I don't, for what it's worth, really get a milky quality.
You don't?
No, I do get a musky, soft kind of with cedarwood.
When you smell it, you don't smell like milk that's been powdered? Does it get powdery to you? That's one thing I want to ask you. It does go powdery.
The musk is like that baby musk, which is kind of powdery. It has a little bit of like a feeling of talcum powder-ish, but it's not powdery. Not the first one is more.
Okay.
But it's, I'm curious about the name.
Space Rhapsody.
Space Rhapsody, but maybe it's because space is so kind of wide and empty, and this is sort of a very clean slate, maybe.
Yeah. Like you're floating in
very
space.
Lovely. The mimosa is sort of almost like just a little melody throughout. It's a very delicate component to it.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear that?
I did hear that. All right. Next up,
Is this a house that you like? This one coming up?
Is it a house that I like? Did we recently feature this in a video?
I feel like we've never talked about this house.
No? This is Jovoy's Touche Finale. So this one has notes of mimosa, heliotrope, sandalwood, violet leaves, musk, pink pepper, rose. What number did we feature this at?
I don't remember. You were upset about it, though.
Thoughts?
Now that's more like it.
More like it?
That's more like it. That's more like what I'm looking for when we're doing a mimosa list. This is where I'm kind of like, okay, now we're there.
Now we're there? What do you like about this one?
This is very nostalgic for me. It reminds me of some time in the Middle East, and I can't quite put my finger on why. Maybe somebody wore something that had...
It does have classic touches. Mm-hmm. I'm also getting pencil shavings for some odd reason.
Yep.
Do you get that?
I do, now that you said it.
Violet leaves?
No, but I get the musk and the sandalwood and the mimosa.
It's powdery. It's very powdery, and that comes...
But it doesn't really... I do get the violet leaves. It adds a brightness to it that offsets the powderiness in a way that makes it more exciting. And kind of... it's a little bigger. It's a little bolder.
We know this from this house.
Sure.
This one also is not so feminine. It's more like it's more unisex rather than...
Which is more interesting to me.
It is, huh?
But there's something about it that's a throwback. There's something about it that feels like, in a good way, like a nod to earlier decades of perfumery.
So Touche Finale is one of their older fragrances, and they brought it back.
It's beautiful.
I think they've redone it a little bit. According to Francois, the owner of Jovoy, he mentioned that it was something that they had in their catalog. They took it off and they brought it back.
Now that it's settling in, the violet leaves are even more prominent.
And I think the violet leaves adds that.
And the pepper.
I do get pepper, yeah. But I think the violet leaves gives it that masculine edge to it. For me, violet leaves tend to go masculine always.
So far, of the ones we've talked about, this is the one I'd put on my skin.
You wouldn't put on Velvet Splendour?
I have put on Velvet Splendour, and it didn't wear as well. So I guess I have put that on my skin technically, but of the ones that we're smelling through right now, this is the one where I'm kind of like...
You like this one?
I like this
You
one.
love Jovoy.
I do, although you're their #1 fan. I'm not going to take that away from you.
Oh, you can take it away from me.
I would have to spend some more time with the brand to even come close.
Okay. Okay, we are going to a more classic one here from the house of Frederic Malle, and this is Fleur de Cassis, this one right here, where it has mimosa, it has sandalwood, jasmine, cassis, rose, musk.
And cassis is like a blackberry, right?
Yes. Thoughts? It's very fruity. It's also very musky. To me, it reminds me of a different take on Musk Ravageur from the same house.
I don't get anything about this that is Musk Ravageur.
Well, I didn't say it's Musk Ravageur. I'm getting musk, like a different take on Musk Ravageur.
Different take on musk, yeah.
It's very musky.
I don't care for this one.
Huh.
I
Why?
I don't know.
Do you smell the mimosa?
There's something very like... It's not pencil shavings.
Because we had pencil shavings in the last one.
Which I liked.
So to me, mimosa tends to go honeyed.
Okay.
There is something honey about it, as far as an accord it creates, or a smell.
This is the first one where it's really hit me.
Really?
But there's something very...
There is a very pungent smell here.
Correct.
It's very pungent. I'm not sure where it's coming from. It's just a combination of the notes, probably. It's intense. It's for some reason reminding me of a lot of other Frederic Malles that I like, I don't love, like the lavender one that they came out with.
Or the
Music for a While.
Therese, whatever that one.
The who?
Teresa, something.
Teresa?
I don't know. It's one of them that I didn't love.
But you don't care for this one?
I don't care for this one. It's
a tough one.
It feels like something someone much older than me would wear.
Oh. You're putting an age on fragrances now.
Which I know is bad manners. But it would feel like a much, much, much older person than me would wear it.
Interesting. It is. It does smell mature, for sure. Anyway, this is Frederic Malle's Une Fleur de Cassis. Is that how you say it?
Sure. I think so.
Okay. So next up, we're going to the house of Nateeva. This is Saint Martin, this one right here. Do you know this house?
Not really. I love when they do that heavy glass bottom, though, on a bottle. It was very enthusiastic spraying right there.
So this is a house known for
Yum!
islands. They're all inspired by islands.
This is very island fresh.
Saint Martin is inspired by the island of Saint Martin, according to them.
This is gorgeous.
Really?
Yes.
So this is all about mimosa, orange blossom, musk, jasmine, amber, hibiscus.
Yum.
It's like an island getaway.
It's like you got off the plane and the beautiful fresh smell of the island smacked you in the face.
Wow.
You've arrived.
You've really reacted to this one.
This makes me smile.
It's happy.
This is gorgeous.
So do you get a lot of the
beautiful.
Do you get a lot of the mimosa? It's there.
It's there.
It's not really.
But I feel like it's almost slightly.
It's quite musky to me, but a very clean musk.
It opens with the musk for sure. I'm trying it on skin because I was that excited about it on paper. We'll see what terrible things my skin does to it, but on paper it's beautiful. Like but the jasmine is very, very strong. The orange blossom is very, very strong. The hibiscus is very strong.
It really does smell like an island getaway.
It really does. And it's nice on my skin too.
Really?
Yeah. It's not a huge giant beast.
Oh, wow.
But it's beautiful.
It's nice. You bring out more mimosa too. It's not as much on the strip.
On the paper it's more jasmine and orange blossom,
Subtle.
I think.
Wow.
and hibiscus, but on me it's a little more mimosa.
Ooh,
And
it's also
hibiscus.
kind of green on you.
This is really
This is very stemmy on her, like
green,
stems.
freshly cut, macerated.
Wow.
I'm immediately in love with this.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is
Beautiful.
Nateeva
No.
Saint Martin. Another.
Having wildly different reactions to the different ways mimosa are being used.
Maybe you need to take another sip of your mimosa.
I think you're on something there. Nice stemware. Speaking of.
Cheers, Dana.
Ooh, good sound too. Yeah.
Okay.
That has now possibly beat out Jovoy as my favorite that we've smelled so far.
They're so different too.
They're so different, but I really like the Jovoy one too. Maybe I'll put that on my other hand. Stand by.
All right, we're gonna go next to the house of Pierre Guillaume, and this is Komorebi 9.1. And Dalya and I have a full review of this one. We did a full bottle giveaway as well.
That one's really lovely.
So this one, for me, is very green mimosa. Mimosa, mint, reseda, black currant, tonka beans, oak, hazelnuts. Uniquely green.
Yeah, this really reminds me. The Jovoy one really reminds me of.
Ooh. You bring out the mimosa. More on you, because I was getting...
It's because I've been drinking mimosa.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, this one is mimosa mint.
Okay, hold on.
Minty mimosa.
All right, I'm ready. Beautiful.
You do like this one.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we reviewed this one. We were both fans. We were both fans.
Minty mimosa. Perfect. I have nothing to add.
I guess I could call it a mimosa with a mojito.
Oh.
Is that a good drink?
No, that's a terrible idea. But this feels very nice. But yeah, like if you were at the Nateeva tropical island and you were
Saint Martin.
Saint Martin having a mimosa and then a mojito, then a mimosa, then a mojito, having a delightful time.
Getting bombed.
Well, you'd be absolutely blitzed, yeah. But
this one actually, to me, I like the combination with the mint. I never thought of mint and mimosa working together. It's quite unique. It does settle down to a very light, oaky, hazelnutty kind of smell, which is very, very unique. You still pick up that mimosa. It is powdery, but we do like this one. This is a great one from the house of Pierre Guillaume. This is an underrated house. Not a lot of people talk about this house.
well, it used to be called Parfumerie Générale.
It did.
And it was one that I just didn't. It wasn't in any of the stores that I was able to smell it in person. But then once a local store, Ideo, started carrying it, I was able to smell through the line, and I like a lot of them.
You bought their musk, right?
I have the Musk et le Pot.
Cool. All right. Komorebi 9.1 is another one from the house of Pierre Guillaume. And we have one, last but not least, from the house of Gucci. It's Winter's Spring. We'll be experiencing that soon, I guess.
Right, yeah. In this part of the country, the winter is quite short.
This one to me smells like the most childlike mimosa smell. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's almondy. It's just lovely. This one is all mimosa, musk, and black pepper. Thoughts?
It's exactly what he said. It's like a watery musk.
It's watery?
Yeah. Which maybe is meant to be like a thaw of the winter as it goes into spring.
A winter thaw.
It's sort of...
I think winter develops into spring, obviously, and that's when the mimosas bloom. Did you know this?
I didn't.
And that's why it's called winter spring.
Sure. Yeah, it's I don't care for this one particularly. It is closest to the Frederic Malle one.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
It has that weird sort of wet paper thing that the Frederic Malle one has too. The mystery note that feels kind of... Maybe it's the
Frederic Malle to me is very pungent. This one's not pungent. It's very very soft and elegant to me.
It is
very very baby-like baby face. You know how babies' faces are so soft and
there's a baby smell.
It's almost like baby powder.
I like the Gucci one better than the Frederic Malle one.
Yeah, I wonder what it is that you don't like about this one. It's just pungent. I think it's really strong and like maybe it's just aggressive.
I've gotten behind some very aggressive fragrances.
But just the Frederic Malle does not work for you.
No, the Gucci Winter Spring is very nice. Kind of, there is something about it that's watery.
Yeah.
To me.
Probably the winter thaw.
But I feel like the musk is stronger than the mimosa.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. It's also a very green mimosa.
It's a very green musk.
Okay.
But it's nice. It's nice. It's nice.
It's nice. Okay, it's nice. So your favorite is St. Martin.
Yeah. My favorite is the Nateeva St. Martin. My second favorite is the Jovoy Touche Finale, and my third favorite is the Komorebi from
Pierre
Guillaume, and then Velvet Splendour would be fourth.
And you didn't care for?
I did not
love Mimosa.
I didn't love it, but I didn't not.
You
love
don't
it.
hate it.
No, yeah, I would probably put Ideo next, love Mimosa after that, Gucci after that, and Frederic Malle dead last.
Very last. Interesting. And you're a fan of.
I do really like a lot of what has come out of the Frederic Malle. But what I really like about that line is that they gave perfumers kind of free reign to make whatever they wanted, and you have a great diversity that appeals to a lot of different people's tastes. I wouldn't expect to like every single thing.
This is Dominique Ropion.
I can't like everything.
This one is drying down very animalic. Smell it.
I don't care for this.
Wow. Okay. Good to know.
Apologies for all those who I've offended.
Anyway, guys, do you know this note, Mimosa? Are you a fan of this note in perfumes? Do you like it? Those of you that are men, would you embrace a note like this, Mimosa? Does it sound like it's too feminine for you? Or from the fragrances that we're discussing today, would any of them sound great for you to wear?
You should try the Velvet Splendour.
Yeah?
The guys, I think that's a great place to start. Or the Komorebi.
What about the Touche Finale? Let me smell.
That might be
it. It smells very pencil shavings to me.
Yeah, it does. It's very soft though, and I think, yeah, you know what? I think it would be a less masculine entry point, but a guy could totally wear it. It would be a slightly more adventurous place to start than the Velvet Splendour, I think.
And what about the St. Martin?
Oh no, that's mine. You can't have it. That one is...
You know, I do like the Love Mimosa. I like it because, look, it's dried down very nice. It's the aquatic. I'm going to spray some on.
It's aquatic.
It's an aquatic mimosa.
I do like how the cap sort of is magnetized. Oh, it's really nice on you.
It's very almondy on me.
Well, it's very aquatic, but...
Almonds, mimosa, and aquatic touches. That's what we get with Love Mimosa.
Cheers.
Okay.
To Mimosa.
Cheers to Mimosa. Guys, if you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Okay, guys. Time for Bubbles. Bubbles de Vere. You know who that is?
Now I do, yeah. What are we talking about today?
So, do you know how to open a...
Yeah, do you want me to?
No, I know how to open it. I'm an expert at opening bubbles.
What? Why? Who does? All right. So what are we talking about today?
Well, we're not talking about anything yet. We're just opening up a bottle.
We're not talking about anything today. You're just going to watch us drink.
Drinking? Careful.
I'm just hiding. It's okay.
The key is to warm up the stem.
Is it? Yay! Good job.
I don't move it so that doesn't pour out. Okay. So, that's the first part. Maybe you can get the orange ready. Shake it up. Ooh, ooh, shake it up.
Hide the brand names. So we're not giving people free advertising.
Free advertising.
Alright.
Oh, this is a pink champagne.
That's okay.
We're gonna have pink mimosas. Oh, I like that sound effect.
Alright. So you may have guessed.
Cheers.